Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm sure anyone that's watching this video already knows this. There's no way, shape, or form that Aaron Rodgers is leaving the Green Bay Packers in the middle of the season. However, I think it's a foregone conclusion, and we've already established this in the offseason, unless something remarkable happens, or unless the Packers win a Super Bowl, and then in the offseason they go ahead and they somehow get Aaron Rodgers more weapons on the offensive end. Like, I don't know, maybe you get Allen Robinson or Chris Godwin to team up with Devontae Adams on the Packers. Unless something awesome happens, then I at least am predicting that Aaron Rodgers would leave. Now, as a result, it seems like there's these little micro flirtations going on in the midst of games, and even some tampering, but it's not enough tampering to even call it tampering going on in these games. So what's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here. Real quick, I am giving away a signed NFL jersey. All you have to do is follow me on my brand new Twitter account or on my Instagram account. One of those followers are going to be selected to win an autographed jersey of your choice, and just comment on my latest Instagram picture or just tweet at me what signed jersey you would want. If I was you, I'd pick Tom Brady because that's going for like $2,500. Also, if you could take a moment to like, consider subscribing and turning on our notifications, that really helps me a lot, and it's free for you to do. Now that we get all that out of the way, break!
At the same time, you're right. We have to take shots, and right now we're just a little bit off. And I'll look in the mirror and start pointing the thumb at me, figuring out how to make it better. Honestly, it's a little bit of both of us, the receivers and the quarterback. It's in order for a deep ball to be successful, both parties have to be on the same page. They have to understand, the coverage and what's going on.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, it has been an absolute dumpster fire for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, and I am always 100% with you guys when I miss on a take. And I know it's a little bit too soon to even say this, but a take that I absolutely missed on is the fact that I felt like the Pittsburgh Steelers were a potential Super Bowl contender this year. My reasoning is I am a huge believer in this. Actually, this part of my football philosophy is practically gospel to me, that if a football team wants to make it to a Super Bowl, they need to have a quarterback that takes a tremendous pay cut. I mean, if you look in the past decade, every single quarterback that's won a Super Bowl has taken a substantial pay cut. Even Peyton Manning, if you take a look at his contract during the 2015 to 2016 season, he won after he was only getting paid $17 million a year. Patrick Mahomes won when he was on a rookie scale contract. Aaron Rodgers a decade ago won on a rookie scale contract. Well, not necessarily rookie, but below market. And Tom Brady has been winning on below market contracts since the dawn of time. The man is literally famous for taking pay cuts in order to sign with the New England Patriots so the Patriots could bolster other aspects of their roster. This was perceived as the Patriot way. And even now, Tom Brady's entire super team is a team that took pay cuts to play with him. Antonio Brown, Richard Sherman, Levante David, Shaq Barrett, and Ndamukong Suh, all players that are above average or once elite players, all took pay cuts in order to play with Tom Brady. Now, this past offseason, there was questions whether or not Ben Roethlisberger was going to continue with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and ultimately, instead of signing him to a contract that would resemble, I don't know, like $34 million a year or even $21 million a year, they signed him to a $15 million per year contract. Now, unfortunately for Ben Roethlisberger, there's this brand new standard for QBs. I mean, Aaron Rodgers comes out and says he wants to play until his 40s. Tom Brady is 44 years old and he's playing the best football of his career. Ben Roethlisberger, unfortunately, is 39 years old, and as a result, a lot of people are expecting this man, who is without a doubt a Hall of Famer. Bear in mind, he made it to 3 Super Bowls, he won 2 Super Bowls, had a tremendous career, but for some reason they're expecting him to more or less be the same type of QB. And it's hysterical because it's even gone as far as in the offseason, there were these media reports that I even reported on that suggested, hey, Ben Roethlisberger came into training camp in better shape, although we don't really have pictures of it for you. So I guess he was trying to follow the same path. But unfortunately, things didn't look good for the Pittsburgh Steelers as the season started. I mean, they started the season with a statement win over the Buffalo Bills. Then they lost to the Las Vegas Raiders, which, in all fairness, is a tremendous team. Then they lost to the Cincinnati Bengals, who were considered to be a lowly team, but hey, they might be trending upward. And then they lost to the Green Bay Packers. All of these teams are teams that the Steelers should be competitive with if they want to ride with Big Ben under center moving forward. But the issue isn't the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, rather it is Ben Roethlisberger. And here's the thing, I'm not trying to come out and say Ben Roethlisberger is done, but I think Ben Roethlisberger needs to adjust his game from a quarterback that could potentially make every throw that he was able to when he was young to a quarterback that occasionally could take shots, but is predominantly in these games. He has the knowledge to read defenses, and he's a high-end game manager at this stage of his career if he accepts that he is. But unfortunately, he won't accept this, and the fact that he's playing on an offensive line that has 3 rookies there isn't doing him any favors either. Now, don't get it twisted, Roethlisberger did show flashes of brilliance, and I'm not trying to say that Roethlisberger is done. What I'm trying to say is instead of trying to air the ball out the amount of times that he is airing the ball out, maybe take more of an approach where, you know, you're dinking and dunking a little bit and then occasionally taking a shot deep. Because so far, Ben Roethlisberger had a 56% completion percentage against the Buffalo Bills, which, bear in mind, they ended up winning that game. A 68% completion percentage, but 1 touchdown and 1 interception against the Raiders. A 1 touchdown, 2 interception performance against the Cincinnati Bengals, which, by the way, he threw the ball 58 times. Matt Canada, why is he throwing the ball 58 times against the Bengals? Then he had a 1 touchdown, 1 interception performance against the Green Bay Packers. Now, this isn't to say he can't get the job done, but I believe that if the Steelers continue down this road, they're probably going to be looking to an alternative at the quarterback position. I mean, here's the thing, the stats don't really tell you everything, but get this excerpt from Tyler Boyd after the Cincinnati Bengals absolutely decimated the Pittsburgh Steelers, saying that I think the good thing about that win was not only did the Steelers feel that, everybody in the country felt it, because the last plays of the game for them, they gave up. You could see it. They had 3 drops in a row. For a team to see that, it gives us more power, giving us the antidote to know how good we are. For a team to just lay down like that before the game is over, because no matter how much we are losing by or whatever the case may be, I know me, I know us, we're not going to give up. We're going to continue to try and make something happen. But they portrayed it to the whole nation on TV, what they were about and how they gave up. Now, of course, they're going to meet up again, so if Roethlisberger comes out in week 12 and absolutely destroys the Bengals, then expect a when Tyler Boyd trash talked Ben Roethlisberger and it went horribly wrong video from me. But in this instance, and if I forget to make it, feel free to comment on it. But another thing that occurred during the Steelers' loss to the Green Bay Packers is, well, it looks like Aaron Rodgers looked across and smiled at Mike Tomlin a little bit, made some eye contact, and even prior to this, which we would typically ignore, but prior to this, on Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, the week before, on the Pat McAfee show, Aaron Rodgers even said this.
Yes, I've been around a lot of Pittsburgh people over the years, and I've loved my time with all of them. I've learned to speak the language really well, which has actually allowed me to follow and become a big fan of Pittsburgh Dad. If you haven't seen on Twitter, big shout out. Some incredible videos. For someone, whether you live in Pittsburgh, you live in Pennsylvania, you know somebody from Pittsburgh, you appreciate the videos so much because you know people who talk like that, who enunciate like that, and that was most of my career with Mike in the headset. Was trying to figure out what the hell he was saying.
Oh, it's going to dice right down her.
Rodgers spoke very highly of Mike Tomlin. And here's the thing, just because he comes out and says, hey, I respect this coach, I respect that coach, doesn't necessarily mean he's going there. You have to think about it in terms of the lens of these players. They're putting out little hints and feelers saying, hey, I might not be here this offseason. My contract's voided after this year. I don't get along with my management. I'm interested in coming to Pittsburgh if you guys give me what I want. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers wants the Tom Brady deal. He wants to go to a team and assemble his own super team. We've already discussed this in the past. Like, listen to this. I have a ton of respect for Mike. I think he's a fantastic coach, and I love the way that he leads.
I love the way he talks after the games. He always seems to keep things, really even keeled. And, it looks like he's somebody that the players love playing for him.
Now, look, anything that would happen in this instance would not happen until the offseason. And to be honest, I could give you a laundry list of teams that Aaron Rodgers could potentially go to in the offseason to make his own little super team there. Obviously, the Denver Broncos are going to be on that list because they have a very similar situation as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have a remarkable wide receiver core and they have a loaded defense. They had the opportunity to draft their next quarterback in Justin Fields. They passed on him for Patrick Surtain. There was this rumor that they were in the mix to trade for Aaron Rodgers.
Jake Plummer is saying that Aaron Rodgers has been mediocre in Green Bay because he's never been motivated to think he could win a championship with the team around him in Green Bay like he would with the team around him in Denver. That's the thrust of what Jake Plummer said.
I don't know about 3 MVPs and 9 Pro Bowls being mediocre, but okay.
Well, and here's what I don't know about. The Green Bay Packers the last 2 years went 13-3 and 13-3. In this past year, obviously both years they got to the NFC Championship game, got blown out at San Francisco, then got Tom Brady at home,
right,
Lambeau. But last year, the Green Bay Packers tied for the most Pro Bowlers in the National Football League with 7. That's pretty good. Denver had 2, both on defense. I'm going to give you that. But Green Bay also had 2 on defense because Zadarius and Jair Alexander made it.
Right.
Okay? So Devontae Adams was ranked at the end of the year by Pro Football Focus the #1 receiver in all of pro football. Huh?
But it just didn't happen. So we're going to keep an eye on this scenario. It's a very interesting rumor, and we're going to see this one to the end. If you're a Steelers fan, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this rumor and how you feel about Ben Roethlisberger's performance as a whole. Do you think there's a chance that he can turn it around, or do you think that the writing's on the wall? If you're a Packers fan, do you think Aaron Rodgers would leave to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Do you think there's a chance he'd return next year? I mean, Devontae Adams didn't re-sign with the Packers either. There might be something to that. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.